Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobby Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. I am from Australia, so good morning, everybody. I'm actually a channeler, so I decided to create these pick a channel messages so that I can still channel and you can have a group to choose, and that's what we're going to do today. We are going to pick a channel message. So I am also live just channeling pure consciousness, like from my guides. They're called the CYANIANS, and I'm probably going to bring out a more intense video on what the CYANIANS are all about and how they visited me and how I got my information and so forth, and who they are. So I started doing that video and I'll probably finish it this week. In any case, I am also an intuitive counselor. So if you need some guidance throughout your life for whatever purpose, or whether you just need some confirmation or something, my link will be down below. This is going live from my Zoom account, so I will put all of the links down below after the live has happened. And that'll be going straight to my website, Codes to a New Reality. So welcome, everybody. I'm just going to see if I can pick up the chat bar. I'm not sure if this is going to work with the chat bar or not. We'll just have to see. I'm not sure if I'm doing this correctly, because this is I've done it once or twice before, but not very often. So don't think that I've got the chat bar going yet. Sorry about that, guys. Usually I have the chat bar going for everybody. Oh, well, never mind. We'll just carry on the way I'm doing it. And I'll look into that for future references. Anyway, let's get into these pick a channel messages. So I just got these cards, all of these cards here, all of my artwork. And I choose from these. The back of this card is something that my daughter, when she was really young, used to draw all the time with a stick in the sand. She used to draw it in the mountains. She used to draw it on my walls. She used to draw it on my carpet floor. And it was always this circle, circle, circle with these lines. So I decided to draw the actual image, and then I asked her to put some colors to it, and these are the colors that she chose. And it wasn't until after or later, many years later, that I realized it's actually the Taurus, looking down on the Taurus energy. And this is literally this, similar to what I saw when I went and met Oneness, which is another long story. I've had so many amazing things happen to me throughout my whole life. I've been very privileged, and also it's been quite a journey, I can tell you. Anyway, I do have videos up about that meeting Oneness as well, which has given me the ability to be able to channel through Oneness's perception. Okay, so here we go. We're going to pick the pile one. So pile one is going to go with this crystal, which is a quartz crystal, and then pile two will go with, I really shouldn't look at the crystals when I pick them, the rhodonite. So amazing how many times the same crystals get chosen. It must be the same energy that's happening, which is understandable. There's a different one, amber. So pile three is amber. So we have pile one is the quartz crystal, pile two is rhodonite, and then pile three is the amber. I've chosen that. I don't know what pictures are so forth. We'll put pile two rhodonite and pile three amber over here. And we will get started with pile one. If this is what you chose, pile one with the quartz crystal, it's just a very cloudy quartz crystal. You got, oh, I just realized this one has a bit of a I should have covered that up. A little bit of a woody thing, so I have to cover this up. This is an image of a beautiful lady. I'll go this side. A beautiful lady that's actually she's actually the goddess of the underworld, and she's left this little rose petal here that's fallen off her dress. That's just, she's covered in these rose petals, and that goes with the quartz crystal. So we'll see what comes through with this. Okay, so what I'm feeling with this one is that there's this, I'm seeing the steps just like in this, and they're grey, but I'm feeling into that grey color for some reason. It's like, here we go again, another day, another step, another motion, another something is happening in my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I need to do this all over again and again and again and again? But then the goddess is standing in front in my head, and it's saying, you don't have to see life through the veil of the mundane, or there's kind of like a feeling of wanting to break free, but not quite knowing how to get your mind into that place of absolute, or feeling at peace within oneself. And understandable too, because we've all been brought up in this this reality that's kind of created this life supposed to be one step after another, predicted, going towards something that we don't really want to do, and that sort of thing. But because of this feeling, it's like I feel that you've gone through a lot of shifts. There's a lot of steps, there's a lot of shifts, there's a lot of movement towards something that's better for you. But it's like before we break free, we have to almost get to squeezed into a place where we get frustrated with something that we might have got comfortable with, and then the comfort's like all fine for a while, and then the comfort becomes stagnated, and so the push from there needs to be released, and the only way that can happen is that the stagnation gets the feeling gets worse. And if we get that feeling that gets worse, and then we start to look for another way out, and always another way out is never outside of us. It is always within us. It's how we are going to choose to see the world, how we're going to choose to live in a different world. And the difference between this reality in your mind and another world just is perspective. It is literally a flick of a switch within yourself of, I'm just not going to say those things in my mind anymore. I'm going to look for the unusual. I'm going to explore something different. I'm going to go towards something that's going to make me feel a little bit outside of the box, the normal box that everybody else is going on. And that's literally pushing us into creating or carving a new reality. But sometimes we need that push of feeling a little bit stagnated before we make the move into something really brilliant or really different, because the comfortableness becomes uncomfortable. This is literally a feeling with me at the moment with you guys of the uncomfortable feeling, the comfortable feeling uncomfortable. And then moving from that. They're also saying to me, don't forget that you could choose 1 pile, 2 piles, or 3 piles. So I want to bring that up now because there could be another message in some other pile for you as well. But this is definitely something that's coming through with this pile of just needing to push through. And it's really, it's like a feeling of, well, I've done everything. So what else is going to excite me? And I mean, unless a spaceship lands in my front yard and benevolent beings come out, which would probably absolutely freak you out more than what you really think that you could handle, or that many people say they can handle. And when it actually comes to the actual point of something like that happening, it needs to happen in small incremental steps. Here's the steps again. It needs to happen in small incremental steps for you to get used to that, that vibe, that feeling, that, and instead of just going straight to the land, you say hi, your whole world has changed. You're lifted up into space. You're going to another planet. You know, you're exploring something completely new. But if that really did happen, I think the anxiety of and the doubts is still, there's still something that needs to be cleared for you to trust yourself impeccably. It's one of those words. So there's this feeling of allowing the smaller steps to become acceptable in your life, the smaller steps to become acceptable. Because when we allow the smaller steps to become acceptable, we're slowly chipping away and moving towards something that we really want. And not only that, we are creating a strong, stable background, a strong, stable support of ourselves. And then when something does come towards us that's very unusual, you're already used to the vibration, you're already used to the telepathic communication, you're already used to the feeling that they give you, that really big different thing gives you, whether it's, you know, a UFO landing or something completely different, doesn't make any difference, whether it's a new business or an endeavor that you're moving towards. Let's put it that way, in a more logical way, that most people are trying to carve new business into this world that's really outside the box, that's listening to me anyway, because they feel this is a mission for themselves. And so they're saying take smaller steps towards that goal, but that at least will shift you out of a little bit of frustration of the mundane. Also, go out and have fun just for the sake of having fun. Don't sit in that feeling for too long. Ask yourself what's going to be fun for you. And it doesn't matter if it's something that you've repeated 1,000 times. If it's fun for you, it's fun for you. Nobody else has to tell you what's fun for you. And you're the only one that is gauging your boredom or your limits or whatever against yourself, not anything to do with anyone else. So yeah, I wish you could see the image a lot better. It's a bit unclear with me having my finger on it, but that's YouTube. That's another thing that they're bringing up. Vulnerability covered up. And we're not talking about, even though it's the body that I'm covering up here, but vulnerability within how we're going to be perceived by the rest of the world when we step into what we step into. And we can say to ourselves 1,000,000 times that we're ready, that we are all good to go. But when it literally comes to that and somebody comes at you, are you really strong enough to be able to handle the self-doubters? And because this is a world that it does mean we're negotiating through, they show me like weeds that we have to, in a scythe that we have to move through to be able to carve this new path. That's literally what the first one going into a great big forest of shrubs and everything that has no path has to do. And then we clear the path for others by saying it's all good to go. This is how you do it. This is how you carve your own path. This is how and I think this is what this team in this pile is all about, is guides for others, but, you know, sometimes we do even get a little stuck within ourselves. So just be aware of that as we go along. Okay, and I will also throw my dice. So I created these fortune dice as well. They have my images on them. And there's 2 of those that are different. They're also available on Etsy. And I'll just throw these dice. They come with 3 dice that have the numbers 0 to 9 on them for numerology reasons. So we have the one that's closest to me and it's on its side is 5. See, we're sliding in on a different journey. 5 is always in numerology, something new coming, a new journey that you're creating or a new path. It's travel also, but it's like you, because it's come closer to you, but it's on its side. It's like you're sliding in towards it. They're reminding me of this incredible dream that I had just before all of these shifts started to happen, and it was literally showing me the journey of humanity. I must bring that one up again because it was full on. But towards the end of it, we were sliding in, like riding the waves of these new frequencies and sliding into the place that we want to create something completely new. And so sometimes to do that, they're showing me just a desert or a void where there's nothing. And so you're like, well, what's next? Or where do I go next? Something like that. But we've got number 22 and contact. Isn't that amazing that through this reading I brought up contacts? So that's really interesting. Just take that as you want to take it, but maybe you're one of those that have contact coming for you. 22 is a number of being uniquely you, no matter what it means to the rest of the world. It could mean that you say that you're an elder, you're you know, a guru from another planet or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. You feel comfortable being you and uniquely you. And then contact is pretty obvious. It's actually, I don't know if you can see, it has this tiny little ship that's made into a home on that picture. Hard to really see, but so, yeah, definitely there's some sort of higher benevolence that wants to be able to speak to you telepathically, bring in the new vibration, gift you new feelings, remind you of your soul's path, missions, that sort of thing as well. And opposite that was 2 dice that had fallen that were facing the other way, and they were together. So it was the number 5 and the number 3, which adds up to 8. So we're bringing in abundance here and traveling through life, but because it was opposite us, unity as well, maybe feeling a little lonely at the moment and not feeling like you're actually getting anywhere with the soul tribe just yet, but there's a reason for it. So don't worry, it's actually going to bring you abundance and support to be in the end. So don't worry too much about that. So that's group or pile 1. And we'll go to pile, this will be pile 2 or group 2. Okay, so we have the rhodonite and we have this image is actually of my middle daughter who's growing up now. And she has this fairy sparking through her eye. And it was also the cover of my Imagine Holding Hands book that I created for children. The rhodonite is love. So let's channel into this. They're literally taking me to her eye and seeing something new through the heart of self, through your heart, seeing life through a different perspective, understanding that it's not to do with the outside world and what shows up for you. It's to do with your inner perspective of everything. and they're showing me the different layers and levels of perception of life, of different perspectives of life, where one is only trapped within their own limitation of that, saying that what they see outside themselves is all that is for them, and that's it. And then they're bringing me back to like a funnel, going back into the mind and going, no, there is more for me. There is, if I just tweak my mind a little bit and see life through different eyes, I will be able to see into the elemental world and more. I'll be able to see ground love into this world. But it's not just that, like literally taking this out into the world. The way that you see life is so different to what other people see life. And taking that out to the world and not being afraid of that anymore, not being afraid of showing up as this new perspective. In other words, if somebody came up to you, you know, at work or something, and they said blah, 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 and you're like, no, I can see a different perspective to that. I can see that person that you're really bagging out over there is actually coming from their own heart. It's just that you don't quite understand, and you're like, but not only that, they're showing me that you don't even need to speak it, that you actually just need to be it. And your silence is almost unnerving for others because you're holding a certain vibration of heart or love. So yeah, interesting that when I started to say that you're saying that to them, all of a sudden they pull me back to, but her mouth is closed. She is not speaking. And this, my middle daughter, her energy is absolutely grounded and peaceful. And others that, like, they used to put ADHD kids next to her because she could calm them down. And that's literally what I'm feeling for you. In your next movement through life is just your presence can calm people down when you come from your heart space, when you come from your heart. And it's not to say that you don't lose it every now and then and you go into your mind and you fixate on that, you know, things and that you need to speak up or whatever. It's not to say that that's not going to happen, but there is some sort of essence of you that's wanting to break free, that is seeing life through a different perspective, that's actually just going to be your energy. And then when you walk through life like that, you're shifting more than what you ever thought you could, or you ever thought you ever would. Silence speaks louder. It's like silence is the strength, and the ones that speak louder. And yeah, but it's interesting. Sorry, I'm just feeling into it, and I'm really slowing down here because this energy is quite grounding, because it's like your heart or your soul is grounding more into your body. And it could be vulnerable to begin with, but I think you're actually getting the hang of it. There's something that you're getting the hang of, a new perspective of seeing life through different eyes. And I'm not religious at all, but now they're showing me Jesus walking this world. They're seeing like Jesus, and I'm like, okay. By the way, from my own perspective, I see Jesus as actually Pleiadian energy, heart-based, healing thyself, so that he could show others that they could heal themselves as well. There's something there for you. Maybe you get into more, you're in the healing like profession, but instead of it's like shifting everything to just be your heart space around people that literally shift them on their own. Yeah, without you needing to do too much. Although you could create a business around that and form something beautiful, but it's really you and your energy that's going to be making this work. Okay, so we'll throw the dice for you. And see, we have logic, which is coming in on its side here, right close to me. And that's because logic grounds things. Logic is the grounder of all things. Right on the right hand side of this was 0, which is source energy, 0 point energy. Coming back into the heart space means that you come away from the niggles of the mind, and you just come into the central part of yourself, which is love. And that is source energy in itself. That's you connected to your soul, and you're grounding it. You're grounding it with the logic. Next to that was the number 8 facing you. So with this comes abundance. So there's some sort of abundance that can happen for you through this grounding of your heart space, and like literally creating maybe a business out of it, but knowing that it's actually you that's holding the vibration is what it is. And then on the other, moving away from me, or coming up, is signs, but it's signs in reverse. So signs in reverse. So instead of looking outside yourself for signs, you are now starting to understand that you are creating the signs for you to convince your logical mind that it is grounding more of your heart space, or moving towards the goals that you want to move towards. Now you're realizing that you are the one that is syncing yourself up with the signs. So you might not need the signs outside of yourself as you progress. And then next to that was number 8 on its side. They're showing me unity with this number 8. A collective self, learning how to bring your intuition and your heart space with your logic onto this planet. And that is huge. That is huge. It's a big thing. So kudos to you guys. That's number 2. And we'll go now to pile 3. So pile 3 had the amber and, oh my gosh, and a tree. Wow. And what is amber? Amber is a sap of tree. But this tree has lots of different elementals around it. Also has an entrance towards this tree. They're literally showing me there's this book, and it has a magical tree in it, and people entered the tree, and then they could go into different realities. But now they're bringing me to the amber and solidifying this. Okay, so if I bring this into a space of there's magic within this group. There's kind of some sort of magic that wants to come through and shine through. It's like an excitement, a joyfulness, a childlike innocence, like, okay, they're bringing me to the title, I'm going to put an image on, this is going live through my Zoom. So I will put an image, I've already put it in my community notice, of this child that titles this whole reading. And she's looking at a magical ball, and there's all butterflies, and she's just in wonder. And they're showing me that's you're stepping into the wonder of this magical world. And you can become the magical world. You want to ground, it's like you want to ground magic into this world. You want to show others that there is a new way, and to bring through that magic, to ground it. but something has to topple first before this is real, for real in your life. They're showing me a witch in a home, and then, you know, it's always the dark house that everyone goes, don't go to that. You know, the kids like are all excited about that house because it's different, because there's this kind of unusual woman or person in that house that's seems to be wielding magic, and so they're all very curious about it, but they're also scared and fearful of it at the same time. And like there is a feeling within your mind that there is that as well. So just be aware that your mind will have these niggles of fears, of layers that we have to peel away before this magic really does become grounded into your reality. But we are getting there. You are getting there. You are moving towards the right space. Just keep seeing the world through wondrous eyes, through the innocence of yourself, through knowing that magic can happen, looking up to the sky and seeing like literally asking for magic to be presented to you so that you can convince your logical mind this is for real as well. So I would see this group as looking for signs. I would see this group for actually looking for physical, tangible signs that they are moving into the next, you know, a next place. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, I sort of lost my train of, I didn't lose it. It was like my train of thought then started to fixate on pyrite, which is in the crystal bowl over there. And pyrite is like fool's gold. So it's a beautiful stone within itself. And we're not seeing the true essence of pyrite and what it can bring through, because we think it's falling us to be gold, and we see gold as we've been programmed to see gold as more value than what pyrite is. And like it's like there's something being missed here in the ordinariness of yourself, something being overlooked, something not quite, you're not quite seeing it yet. And there's magic in that fool's gold. There's magic in that pyrite. I'm going to bring the pyrite out as well. See, there's magic in this. And pyrite is made up of lots of little cubes, lots of little, sometimes cubes, sometimes other shapes, mainly cubes though. So cubes are all to do with stability of self. So literally allow yourself to ground yourself onto this plane more, like really be here and love this life even more and see it through childlike wonder for you to see the magic. It's like we think that if we just go in an airy-fairy imagination and think over there of all those wondrous things that could be grounded, we aren't present in this reality, and then we look at our outside world and go, but they're showing me that if you see the mundane through childlike wonder, then the magic's going to show through even more. So you will see even more in your life coming through this, which is what you want to solidify. You want to ground that. Yeah. And I will throw the dice well for you. And we have signs right next to me. You might be missing the sign because it was in reverse. So you might be missing the sign. There's certain signs that are coming towards you to show you magic. Missing it because you're looking for the gold and not the pyrite. You're not grounding it. So there's some sort of grounding that needs to take place for you to actually bring this magic in. Number 33 is literally, 33 to me is somebody who's moving into a new doorway, opening up a new doorway. dancing through life and moving through life through a different perspective, and like opening up a new doorway into a new dimension or a new place, a new scope, a new magic, something new coming in. It's also a collective number because it's 3. 3 is all to do with grounding the mind, the heart, and earth, pulling it all together. And 3 and 3 equals 6, and 6 is all to do with creating something completely new. It is the void that we have to go through. We have to accept the mundane or the void to be able to explore more. Number 6 is the next one, and that's literally what I was talking about with the 3 3s coming together, creativity. Don't dismiss your gifts. Don't dismiss your gifts. You might have just the gift of being able to knit or cooking or gardening or something that seems a little, well, that's not really much, but it actually is. There's something there that can be spread out into even more magic. Combine both you wanting to bring magic into life with things that are seemingly mundane in your life. And then we have 3 facing away, but it was right next to the number 6 again. See, we've got a lot of 6s. And that's literally you want so much. Look, a lot of 3s and a lot of 6s here. We've got 2 6s and 3 3s, literally wanting to create something new. But they keep on bringing me down to make the roots stronger, ground yourself in this reality, accept this reality before you move forward. Because you don't want to move forward through the imagination. It would be like saying that something is real when it hasn't. You haven't grounded it within yourself. You couldn't make a business out of it because it's too way out there, and you haven't got all of the tools to ground it into this reality. And to have, it's like saying to someone, I can walk through this forest, and I can walk into the street, and I can walk into a beautiful place, and then you walk in there and it's just just dirt and roots and stuff, and somebody's behind you and you're like, yeah, but in my head it's a magical place. And they're like, yeah, but I can't see it. And so what they want you to do is to actually ground this magical place onto this planet or into this world, is to use something of your gifts that you already have to create something that can be seen tangibly by others, something to do with that. Whew. That was a hard one to read for, actually, to tell you the truth. Interesting. Okay, so that was number 3. And I don't have my chat bar up, so I don't know how to do that with a Zoom meeting. I'm going to have to look into that so that I can actually do that. I'll just have a quick squiz here to see if I can open up the chat bar on my Zoom, on my Facebook, but it might... No, it's not going to. So, yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. So sorry, guys, for those that wanted to come in on the chat bar. I wanted to experiment a bit with my Zoom meeting and see if I could do this, but it looks like I can't. So from now on, when I go live, I probably will just take it to the YouTube again. Never mind. I had a go, because it's the good thing about Zoom is I can actually bring up other things as well, like things that are on my computer and that to show you if I need to. But never mind, that's the way it goes. So sorry about that, about the chat bar. Yes, so we'll be bringing through another video soon, and that should be on. I'm saying should be because I've got a couple of videos that I've started that I haven't finished, and so I'm feeling the next one is going to be on more information about the CYANIANS. But I have also got the spark of life that I really want to get to still again, and that's been in the pipeline for a while, and yeah, if anyone wants a one-on-one reading with me, it's all open down below. Oh, I will put all the information down below. So sorry, guys, that this didn't work out. We'll try again next time. Don't forget on Tuesday, I do straight channeling, and I'll probably also do another video channeled message. Maybe Humanity's Collective, not sure yet, but it could be. Love you guys heaps. Just keep in tune because there's heaps coming.